Hello folks, and welcome to another Sasoi spikeboarding tutorial and demonstration. Today it's all about commuting a little bit. So we're going to stay on a bike path and cut through a college campus and just demonstrate how spikeboarding is very accessible for commuting in bike paths and how friendly a commuting creature spikeboarding is. It just stays in a straight line, a shoulder width area of distance is all that it needs. It's not occupying a bunch of space. It's an easy vehicle to pass if you're in an automobile or a motorcycle or a bicycle. Like all other transportation alternatives, you might want to give it a heads up that you're coming from behind. Well, there's no reason to not understand that spikeboarding is a transport sport, so it's recreation that becomes transportation. And very simply, you can carry a light pack if you wanted. We don't recommend anything much over, say, 20 pounds. It's going to get a little heavy for you. 20 pounds is already kind of heavy. So in skiing for millennia, people have use sleds. In skiing, a sled is called a pulk, folks, and pulks work really well in spikeboarding. We've used them quite a bit. We haven't made any videos with them, but pulks work fabulously well, and of course no one really makes a pulk that is going to work so well on wheels. You can modify one in any millions of different ways, but we'll come out with some. We'll show you how that's done. And pulking is super nice when you get up over, say, 20 pounds of load. But otherwise, you can carry your stuff on your back casually. You might see videos with us using packs all the time. And to carry stuff, it helps quite a bit. So when you do commute or when you spikeboard, you don't want to have many things in your front pockets. So notice how that skateboard spike's coming really close, if not often rubbing straight up to the pocket area, and you want that area to be empty, otherwise you're going to be uncomfortable and you're not going to enjoy your commute very much. And we're of course demonstrating this in technical gear. That's just because we were not in a position to change when we made this video, but certainly the speed is casual, it's not flat out, and it surely demonstrates that the sport works very well on flat section. So here it's kind of like a little bit of a false flat in favor of the athlete at this point. So once you can get your rolling speed going, very similar to double poling, stand-up spike is going to be the preferred stroke. And of course on the way back, we're going to show the commute on the way back and this false flat, and we'll be taking it all the way back up in Kubi Cross. Otherwise you're going to have a little more work to do. So the Kubi Cross stroke CXC is a little more high performing, so calorically you'll burn less calories outputting that than you will in stand-up spike. It'd be a little more of an effort, but of course if you're just a stand-up spike athlete, that'd be fine as well. So in we go through this little bikeway, it's this greenway, straight over to Colorado University, and now we're going to show a little bit of switch kicking, and we'll also show how well these cycles pass. It's no big mystery. Boards and bikes have been sharing the road for some time, and of course that's a subject of consternation, and it's always been a subject of consternation for all pathways of all humankind, whether water or what have you, and it's all about common sense, guys. It's not about like what is more important and what's less important. If we really went by that, well, I guess we'd stop driving cars, because thousands of people are getting killed by cars every single day. And if you know the history of automobiles, you know that when they arrived, there was virtually none. And they, of course, since they were new, also got the shame and anger and everything, you name it. Well, then AAA stood up and they created jaywalking. Jay was a term for someone who lived out of town, was a bit of an innocent hillbilly redneck that didn't know much about urban ways, and then AAA said, hey, you gotta stop jaywalking. you know, what are you, a dumbass? And so there was born out of LA with the AAA Club of America, and they created the term jaywalking and basically began to put all the blame on pedestrians. And that's what happened. So, and very similar, the electric scooter is arriving now, and they're doing the same thing. So certainly the social designs need to be created and people need to be respectful, but when something's progressive and good for the planet, it's a little bit silly to go against it and stand up more for that which is hurting. Cycling, walking, spikeboarding, these are all alternative ways to get around. Scooters, switch kicking a board like you see here without a spike even. So everyone needs to basically share the road and not be disrespectful. So slow the heck down when you're around other people, and respect the person in front of you. It's very similar to skiing on a mountain. So who's got right of way? Well, certainly not the person who is down mountain, because they don't have eyes on the back of their head. So it's the same with driving. You've got to respect the people that are in front of you. And that very often, of course, cyclists are very guilty of buzzing people. But if you're on a board, these principles are going to apply as well. There we are, back to a little more pavement that we can begin to engage. We hope you enjoyed that switch kicking session straight through the university. But as you can see, roads are easily managed. Traffic is easily managed when the sport is technically controlled well. We're going to go through a couple lights here and then just swivel around, come back, and go straight back towards the direction we were going, cut back through CU. But really just wanted to show you how spikeboarding remains balanced, and we're executing something that is not insanely rigorous. Our heart is not coming out of our throat. So you learn the skill set, then you can do what we like to say, which is to make the planet proud. And you can do that with cycling or inline skating or walking, or running, or scootering. And you could even step up and say, I'm going to begin to commute with roller skis. So stopped at that light, went through. So yeah, sure, commute with roller skis, have at it. So why would you want to commute with roller ski or spikeboarding? Well, you know, you want to engage your entire body. Your creator actually made you to have core and arms. Distances of 5-6 miles. If you are covering that distance in commuting on a bicycle, mix it up a little bit. We're not going to say, you know, you're going to be spikeboard commuting every single day of the year, but who on earth ever would have thought that you could casually cross-country ski to work 5 miles one way and 5 miles on the return trip? I don't think that many people ever really dreamt of it, wanted to, or thought of it much. The thing is about with roller skiing, it's incredibly high on the logistics scale. Your boots and your poles, and it's a mighty call for navigational safety with roller ski. It's not you know, just jump on a board and off we go. So the proof is in the pudding. We don't see people roller skiing with commuting, and we see truckloads of people commuting on boards. And sadly, since there is no leadership or direction towards switch kicking in the board business, very few people at all arrive to a board and say, I'm going to technically improve my switch kick. For that matter, there's very few people out there teaching people how to kick nose over knee and knee over toe correctly with one leg. And of course, then people just sort of imagine, hey, you know, let's just do it as best we can, and it's casual, and it's sort of grandfathered into this position where it's a toy, and either you're a skateboarder and you radical, or you might be a guy like we just passed on a penny board. So his awareness of commuting on a board is, hey, it's a penny board, it fits in my pocket, and isn't it wonderful? It's a little better than walking. I assure you that man's not going to be 55 years old 30 years from now and riding that penny board. This is not going to happen. But for many different reasons. You know, one of them, that he's going to get bored with kicking on one leg. So you're looking at an athlete that stopped using a board for commuting in an urban place at age 30. That's it. I'm not kicking every place with one leg. It's not going to happen. So just switch kicking alone, which we did not innovate. We didn't innovate switch kicking at all. It's been around, but no one's ever wanted to coach it properly. We do coach it, and it's the bottom half of a beautiful sport that, bang, instantly connected to cross-country skiing. Why? Well, because you have an upper body. And of course, you're sliding and you're gliding across the Earth's surface. If you're sliding and gliding across the Earth's surface and you're not using your arms, I hope you're an inline speed skater and you're just going too fast to do it. Because if you're not, then spikeboarding. Exactly. So it's a wonderful campus. It's good glassy asphalt. The expansion joints are no big deal. You slide right over them. They're not so big that you have to really pay close attention to them and get to the backs of the board. Now and again, you got great grass. If you want, you can spike a little bit as you go by. No problem. And here we go back to this little tunnel that connects us back over onto the road from where we came. I believe it's Moorhead Road. Little stand-up spike before we split, just to engage that upper body. Off we go through the tunnel, and bye-bye, see you. And see you. It was nice to have been there with you. We've seen all the consternation and political problems you've had on your bike paths, and we congratulate that you've superseded them all and seen through to the fact that you ought to have, and you did, spend $25,000 on getting some board racks so that the students could have a decent place to rack their boards when they commute. Hey, everybody commuting on a board, keep it up. And DU, keep supporting transportation alternatives, keep making the planet proud. And what a tiny little town and so many cars. Don't know exactly why, but it just, I feel like I'm in New York when I'm in Boulder, man, or Jersey. It's just too many in regards to the car situation. It's just too many cars, guys. I guess everyone needs a car to go to the mountains later, but never seen anything like that. Get me back to Denver where the traffic isn't so bad in the suburbs. But this road isn't so bad at all. So this is nice, and as I said before earlier, you're gonna Kubi cross these uphills. This is a false flat uphill, and we went stand-up spike all the way down it, and as we did, it rendered an easy downhill, and of course now we're having to go back up it, so we're going to use a little more performance-driven stroke with a Kubi cross, but equally as casual. So we really wanted to make this video nice and casual. Imagine you're just dressed in some maybe technical sportswear that's a little looser, maybe some cotton and wool, depends on the temperature. Or some nice merino sportswear is gonna be nice too. And the cadence here on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we were doing 10s there, so you can do 10s or 5s. Stay casual, keep your knee over your nose over your toes. You're just bumpity bump, making the planet proud, because you're farming your own pig. You are the pig. You are the farmer. You are both. You need to farm your body every day. You need to husband your body. You wouldn't let the pig smoke or drink or go nuts on double dosing cake. And funny thing, we do that with our body. So folks, make the planet proud. See you at the next one.